Hello and welcome to our video tutorial covering the graphical user interface in your first steps in the ONTRAM Plus system. This video should give you an idea about how ONTRAM works and where the main system functions for translators are located. Peter Summers, a translator, has just received a mail that a translation job has been assigned to him. To log into ONTRAM, Peter simply enters his credentials and selects Login. In case you forgot your specific user password, you can request a new one directly on the login screen. After logging in, ONTRAM provides Peter with a landing page where useful quick start icons are located. In our case, Peter first wants to check his personal information, so he accesses the profile settings. Selecting the profile settings allows users to change values like email addresses, the preferred password, phone numbers, and other personal information. Whenever you perform an action in ONTRAM, you have to select the Save icon to save your changes. As you can see, Peter's profile has been saved. The ever-present upper system bar can be accessed from wherever you are working in the ONTRAM system. Help allows Peter to access all available and relevant help material about ONTRAM. Selecting Knowledge Base links Peter directly to ONTRAM's powerful knowledge base. The ONTRAM knowledge base is a repository of rich information covering the ONTRAM software. The KB also contains specific articles about your individual ONTRAM instance, as well as answers to frequently asked questions and, of course, the ONTRAM video tutorials. The third important option Peter can access in the upper system bar is Chat Support. Selecting Chat Support will open a new window where Peter will be connected to an ONTRAM support team agent. Simply enter your information, select a support team, type in your question, and start chat. ONTRAM's left navigation can be adjusted by dragging it to the size of your choice. The left navigation contains functionality based on where are you working in the system and what is relevant to this individual task. In our case, Peter now wants to address the translation task that has been assigned to him. To select a job, Peter hits the Job Selection tab. As we can see, there are two jobs that were assigned to Peter. He's also provided with various information about the job group, language, status, and the current role in the workflow process. In order to select one of the jobs, Peter hits the task icon. ONTRAM now provides Peter with the job details. Job details contains all relevant information like calendar with certain due dates, the job history, all our participating users. Peter also gets information about the source file and the source language. Selecting Edit will open ONTRAM's web-based translation editor. ONTRAM also allows users to open multiple jobs. As Peter is also assigned to translate another document, he switches back to Job Selection and hits Task on the second job that has been assigned to him. ONTRAM opens every job as an additional tab, and you can easily jump between all open tabs. To select the second page of the document, Peter can either use the Next Page button, type in the number of the page, or simply select the page by hitting the header in the left navigation. Peter can change the value of display segments displayed on one page by using the drop-down window. He can also use the upper right arrows to address all segments on the first page of the document. Before we start with the actual translations, we'd like to give you an overview about the basic features and configuration options a translator is provided with. The Save icon allows users to save the translation progress whenever wanted. Please notice that your progress will also be auto-saved whenever you jump to the next segments on a certain page or jumping directly to another page of the document. The Filter icon gives every user the possibility to filter for certain options. In our case, Peter wants to filter for segments without translations, so he selects Filter Content without translation. You can also filter for translation memory, workflow, author's correction, or quality assurance. To deselect the performed filter, Peter hits No Filter and all filter options will be deselected. To configure the web-based translation editor, Peter now selects Configuration located right next to the filter options. Peter now wants to display an additional column where translation memory is displayed. There are also various other options for additional columns the user in ONTRAM can configure. An auxiliary language, for example, is a pivot language that shows the current translation of the same job in a different language. Reference is often used for a job that is an updated version of an already completed job. If a reference is saved for a job, the text segments from the reference job can be viewed and copied for each segment. Peter also wants to add a character counter, so he selects the option to add the counter to the target language column. He finally hits Display and Save to add both options he just selected. ONTRAM now provides Peter with the additional column and the character counter he previously selected. For deselecting columns, we simply hide the columns in the configuration. As already mentioned, the blue arrows allow users to jump between the pages of a document. The orange-colored progress field indicates the overall translation progress. In this case, the translation progress is already at 65%, as the translation memory has pre-allocated certain segments. The next icon in the upper bar allows Peter to generate a preview document of the current translation progress. Selecting the icon right on top or Preview Export in the left navigation will generate a preview of the whole document. Working within design files allows Peter additionally to preview a certain page by simply clicking the previewing thumbnail. This option is called Live Preview and opens an additional window with the previewing layout view. The last icon indicates ONTRAM's spell check functionalities. Spell check can either be activated or deactivated by simply hitting the icon. To activate ONTRAM's search functionalities, Peter hits the search button on the upper right corner right next to the search field. You can now either search, replace, or use ONTRAM's concordance search features. Just hit close to deselect search options. Whenever there is a translation memory match, ONTRAM displays the match with an icon right below the source language segment. In this case, we have a 100% memory match. Selecting the icon will open an additional window with all relevant translation memory match information. In our case, we already displayed TM information by previously adding an additional column. You can apply the matches by hitting the Apply button so that the match will directly be applied in the target language field. Green or blue colored text indicates a terminology entry. Selecting the colored text will open the terminology entry in a separate pop-up window. You can now either apply the entry or show advanced information in a terminology program that is connected to ONTRAM. Peter can also make terminology proposals by selecting Terminology Proposal in the upper configuration bar. To finally enter translations, Peter selects the text editing field and types in the translation. There are also various formatting options as well as custom characters you can choose from. Peter can also add a comment to every segment by hitting the Add Comment icon. Simply select a comment category, a target role, and type in your comment. Whenever a document contains table content, Peter can make use of ONTRAM's built-in table view editor, indicated by the table view icon. To activate the editor, Peter selects the table view icon under the target language editing box. The advantage of ONTRAM's table view editor is its great usability, as well as the efficient and fast translation of tables. Peter also has the possibility to use ONTRAM's quality assurance functionalities. QA checks are possible at any time during the translation process and shows Peter all errors or warnings for predefined QA checks. To enter QA, Peter simply selects QA check in the left navigation. Peter notices that there are still segments without translations. To address them, Peter jumps to the segments in question by selecting the Switch to Editing page icon. After adding the missing translations, Peter hits the Save icon and jumps to the Job Overview page to hand off the job to the next workflow participant. To hand off a task in ONTRAM, Peter selects Task and selects the next relevant workflow role. He could optionally attach a comment and finally selects Perform Task to hand over. We hope you enjoyed watching ONTRAM's First Steps video tutorial. Thanks for your time and attention. Whenever you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact us via live chat or by email at support@ontram.com.